Hello, my name is Amber Carpenter, and this presentation will be on work and family, a clear reflection on gender inequality at home and in the workplace. Before I delve into my presentation, I would like you to answer the question, name the gender. I would like to share a little background about myself. I am 33 years old and I live in Washington State. I wanted to share these pictures because this is my pride and joy. My son, Zayden, he is about to turn 10 years old in a few days. And I chose gender inequality because a lot of the statistics that I will share today I have experienced. It's challenging being a single parent and not just providing for my son, but trying to progress and climb the social class ladder. I hope that what I share with you today can shed some light on what I've experienced. For the overview of this presentation, I think it would be important to first note that because it involves gender inequality within work and the family, it is crucial to be aware that gender is distinct from sex. While sex refers to the biological characteristics one is born with, gender is socially constructed and a fluid concept. Gender inequality stems from societal constructs that define what is considered feminine versus masculine. This can be from what a person does to the very element of what they are wearing. There's the feminist theory that suggests that gender inequality is deeply rooted within the family. This is where individuals learn about appropriate gender roles, such as those related to cooking or mowing the lawn. Workplace inequality mirrors societal perceptions of gender roles, particularly in the context of unpaid and paid labor. Social constructs are developed through socialization, the process by which individuals interact and form their role identities. Despite progress, women still earn less than men today, even when they hold the same positions, have the same education or experience, or similar qualifications. When it comes to gender socialization, it's important to note that individuals are not designed to behave in specific ways due to their genetic makeup. Rather, they develop their behaviors through socialization, learning from their surroundings by observing what is deemed normative. This process involves individuals internalizing elements from their environment, which then contributes to their sense of identity. Specifically, gender socialization is not merely a result of teaching or directives, it encompasses how individuals independently navigate their behavior. Through experiences in various settings, such as at school or at home, people adapt to the perceptions of different gender roles, which subsequently shape their actions. Gender socialization can be understood as a framework through which individuals evaluate what is considered acceptable or unacceptable based on their social experiences. This is the foundation upon which gender roles are established. There are various levels of gender socialization that warrant consideration. While family plays a crucial role in this process, its influence is not exclusive. We must also consider local contexts, such as friendships, workplace, and educational settings. For example, the roles of mothers, fathers, and children within the family are significant, but the impact extends beyond these immediate relationships. In addition to local contexts, broader cultural influences also shape gender socialization. These include social media, the types of news consumed, religious beliefs and practices, and economic conditions. Together, these diverse contexts contribute to the formation of an individual's understanding of gender roles. In the article, A Neurocognitive Approach to Studying Processes, Underlining Parents' Gender Socialization, researchers found that gender stereotypes influence parents' cognitive processes. One study observed that mothers with stronger implicit gender stereotypes used more gendered language during picture book reading with their preschoolers, reinforcing traditional gender roles. This indicates that the link between social groups and attributes like gender is evident in parental communication, even in everyday activities. I wanted to share this chart that was in chapter 5 of Cohen's book, The Family, Diversity, Inequality, and Social Change. I really think it's beneficial to understand gender socialization because it really puts it all together as it shows how the family it does affect gender socialization, but the family is affected by the local context, the friends, school, and work. But even the local context is, I wouldn't say dictated, but they are affected by the cultural context, the media, the religion, on a macro level. The outcomes of gender socialization can be observed, but they are difficult to predict because gender is a social construct, and our society is constantly evolving from past generations. For instance, if we examine the women's rights and roles in America, we can see how gender socialization has changed over the years. In colonial America, women were viewed as property once they were married. Their husbands had the legal right to take any valuable possessions from them, including property. During this time, women had few rights outside of marriage. Things changed around the time of the American Revolution. Women were denied the right to vote, as at that time society deemed them a threat. By the 1900s, the concept of the nuclear family began to emerge, and it became very prominent in the 1950s. And it marked a period of significant growth in this mindset, with men often serving as the breadwinners and women as the homemakers. Although Black men and women gained the right to vote in the 1950s, the workforce saw more married men and mothers entering, with women still earning less than their male counterparts. In the 1960s, women made about 60% of what men earned, which improved slightly to around 70% in the 1990s. As of 2022, women were earning just over 80 cents for every dollar men made. It's essential to recognize that gender socialization shapes society's views on gender roles and expected behaviors. Many people believe that male and female equality has been achieved, but this is not the case. While a higher percentage of women are earning bachelor degrees or higher, for example, 45% compared to 37% in 2022, men still tend to earn higher salaries. It seems that women must pursue higher education to complete or to compete with men's salaries, often solely due to the differences in their sex assigned at birth, due to gender socialization. Although there are now more women than men with college degrees, women hold only 28% of the seats in Congress. This discrepancy raises questions about the ongoing power struggle concerning equal rights between men and women. Additionally, there is evident gender bias in job selection. For instance, 92% of truck drivers are male, while 89% of nurse aides are female. Despite having similar training and facing comparable stresses in their job, full-time truck drivers earn 49% more than nurse aides. This difference reflects a societal perception that women are more suited to supportive roles, while men are seen as the primary workers. This is evident in the prevalence of female teachers and male truck drivers, as well as construction workers, a profession often considered masculine due to its physically demanding nature. Consequently, these perceptions contribute to the higher pay for jobs typically held by men, such as truck driving, compared to those predominantly occupied by women, like teaching. Gender inequality exists not only in the workplace, but also within families and society as a whole. There are different types of work that contribute to this inequality, particularly when it comes to unpaid work and care work. Market work refers to jobs that pay wages, while housework includes tasks that support household functions, such as cleaning, cooking, and doing laundry. Care work, on the other hand, involves face-to-face interactions aimed at enhancing another person's capabilities, such as caring for a child or helping them with homework. An interesting dynamic arises when housework and market work intersect, leading to paid work situations. Similarly, market work and care work can also be considered paid. However, when housework and care work combine, they typically fall into the category of unpaid work. For example, activities like cooking and feeding children are often classified as unpaid housework and care work. In terms of inequality within families, single mothers face specific challenges compared to married couples. They often have limited resources, which can be categorized into three main areas. Financial resources. Single mothers typically rely on a single income, while married couples benefit from dual incomes. There's also the social capital. This relates to the lack of support that single mothers may experience, which can limit their earning potential due to time constraints. There's also the time resources. Single mothers often take on responsibilities of two-parent household, which can significantly reduce their available time for work, housework, and family care. These factors are crucial to consider, especially in discussions about the challenges faced by single parents. There often is a stigma around a single parent that they are capable just as a dual income or dual family is. When examining families with dual incomes, you can also see inequality in the distribution of responsibilities. For instance, the number of hours spent by men and women caring for their children can show a significant difference from generations before us and currently. For example, in Cohen's book, they mentioned that in 1965, men averaged 2.6 hours per week on childcare, while women devoted 10.5 hours. By 1996, these numbers had increased slightly, with men spending an average of 4.5 hours and women spending 11.2 hours. In 2021, men spent 7.3 hours on childcare, compared to women who spent 12.8 hours. While the situation has improved over the years, there remains an inherent inequality. as women still contribute more time to childcare despite both working outside the home. Additionally, there are disparities in earnings within couples. According to Cohan, in 57% of couples, men earn more than their female partners, while only 21% of couples, women earn more. I came across an interesting article. It was titled Gender Inequality in Work Location, Childcare and Work-Life Balance, Phase-Specific Differences Throughout the COVID-19 Pandemic. The study's findings indicate that while gender inequality has neither worsened nor improved during the pandemic, it still persists. The researchers were unable to determine the cause of gender inequality, which highlights the need for further investigation into the issue. The article emphasized that although a global pandemic may not directly instigate or resolve gender inequality, it illustrates that such inequality is not merely a byproduct of unpredictable events. Rather, gender inequality is created and sustained by human actions and social constructs. It is shaped by our choices and behaviors, rather than being solely by uncontrollable circumstances like the COVID-19 pandemic. Looking at gender inequality in the workplace, we can look at STEM as a good example. There's gender inequality in STEM fields, particularly in colleges and schooling. And this issue extends beyond the United States. For instance, in Pakistan, a peer-reviewed article titled Gender Inequality in STEM Education in Pakistan, a case study of female students, highlights the ongoing disparity in STEM education. Despite government initiatives aimed at encouraging more women to enter STEM fields, the data shows that more males than females are enrolled in STEM programs. One thing that was interesting in the article is that it noted this issue begins long before college. It starts in primary education and continues into higher education. There is a significant gap in enrollment rates for girls compared to boys in STEM subjects. The article emphasizes the need for greater awareness regarding gender inequality in STEM and suggests that more research is essential to understand the underlying causes of this disparity. I wanted to share this picture from a PBS video on YouTube, and they really summarized this well with this illustration. If we look at this iceberg, the top of the iceberg is what you can see um, for inequality within the workplace, especially in regard to discrimination for women. While it is apparent you can see unwanted sexual attention, corrosion, or assault, the things that are not clear are often what is happening the most, such as subtle exclusions, being left off an email, not being invited to a collaboration, or being passed for a promotion. I wanted to share this because I myself have experienced this in my work experience, and in fact, has led me to pursue higher education so I can avoid this as much as possible. Though it is unfortunate, I hope that our society can gain more awareness to the issue because that is the problem at hand, is what is not seen is not an awareness. When thinking about gender inequality within work in the family. It is important to take note of social mobility and intersectionality. The United States is witnessing a decline in social mobility compared to previous generations. Social mobility refers to the ability of individuals to improve their social and economic status, but it often depends more on the circumstances of one's birth rather than personal effort. For instance, children born to parents who have college degrees are significantly more likely to pursue higher education themselves and achieve middle class status or above. In contrast, children from low income families face greater challenges in breaking out of their socioeconomic status, often due to a lack of resources and guidance. Middle class parents tend to raise their children differently because they have more resources and really a different mindset altogether. They have different resources, more time because they have more money, and they tend to rely more on supporting uh, sports and rigorous academic pursuits. In contrast, low income families may struggle to provide these opportunities, creating significant barriers to upward mobility. I would like to take note, just to give you a little example. I grew up in a low income family, and unfortunately, I had a hard time moving up to make more money than they have. One thing that's important is in high school, I did recognize that the parents who had college degrees or good careers, those were the children going to college and pursuing higher education. I think that social mobility is important to recognize because with how much it is decreasing um, in our generation, hard work can only get you so far depending on where you start. Thank you for taking the time to watch my presentation on gender inequality within work in the family. This topic really hits home for me as I have experienced this in my life. And like the iceberg that I showed of a big portion of it not being in awareness, I hope that one day our society will shed more light and bring into awareness the inequality that is apparent for women within home and the work.